Hey guys, Victor G here with Project Tundra. This is a second episode on weight reduction. In the first one, I showed you how we can take a few simple things and drop between 300 and 400 pounds depending on your truck configuration. In this episode, I'll show you a few more in-depth things you can do, things that take more time, cost more money, and may or may not be reversible. So first of all, some trucks come with front and rear metal bumpers. Some have front plastic and rear metal, and some have all plastic. Mine happen to have both metal bumpers. So the front one weighed in at 41.4 and the plastic replacement was 8.8. So that was good for over 32 pounds in savings. The rear bumper, originally the metal one is 25.4 and the plastic one's only 5 pounds, so that's good for another 24.4 in weight savings. Once you switch to a plastic rear bumper, you don't really need a rear hitch anymore because it doesn't need to support anything, so you can take that sucker off, and the hitch and bolts are good for a whopping 87 pounds of weight reduction. My truck came with a big bulky battery that weighed almost 53 pounds. I swapped it for a small unit, a Group 51R out of a Lexus RX 400h, and that was good for a 24.4 pound saving as well. If you don't use your truck for any heavy hauling, you can cut out the whole box like I did and save about 100 pounds. I actually got about 102 pounds out of it, but then I used 5 pounds of aluminum reinforcement just to hold it all together so it doesn't flap and bounce around. And I ended up cutting out 96.4 out of it in the end. If you do need to haul something, you can easily throw a piece of plywood in there and get the utility of it back to pretty much what it was before cutting the box out. Now we'll move on to some of the smaller stuff, but every pound counts. So I ripped out the complete parking brake assembly because you don't need it for drag racing as per NHRA rules. You can also take the front fender liners and the engine side covers off. They're good for 3.0. The mud flaps weigh in at 2.6. The transfer case skid plates are good for 1.7 pounds. There's a third skid plate there, but I chose to leave it on because it protects the shift mechanism from the exhaust heat. Since I got rid of my spare tire, I was able to get rid of the spare tire hanger cable as well. That guy weighs in at 4.0. I also removed the rear bump stops because with my truck, I'm not going to be hauling anything in the back of it anymore, and I'm never going to be bottoming it out. Lastly here, what you can do is if your truck comes with tow mirrors like mine did, you can swap them out for regular mirrors. You'll save 8 pounds of weight and also some frontal area for some drag reduction. Finally, after taking so much weight out of the back of the truck, you'll realize that it's riding really crappy and sitting really high because the leaf springs that were meant to hold all the load are supporting so much less weight now. So what I ended up doing is taking the leaf springs out and removing one leaf out of each one of them. Now the truck sits way more level and rides great, and also the two leaves together weighed in at 27.2 pounds. So after removing, replacing, cutting and gutting so many parts, I ended up with an additional savings of 334 pounds from this stage 2 weight reduction. I realize this isn't for everyone, but if you are trying to build a really fast truck, one of the fastest in the world, you're gonna need to potentially do this and more. You could also remove a lot of other things and do a lot of changes, but since I'm trying to build a sleeper, I'm not going to be ripping out my door panels and carpets, etc. But I am looking into things like the carbon fiber hood, some racing seats potentially, and lightweight wheels and things of that nature. See you on another episode, guys. Enjoy.